Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of 50/50 Booking High Spots, presented by My Coffee. Yeah, it's been one of those kind of days. So, anyway, this is Peter. Hello, and no, that way. There we go. That's there we go. That's Anne. So there we go. So, I always get that confused because obviously it's the opposite way around to how I'm looking at it when I do that. It's one of those really weird things that happens. Kind of like wrestling in a certain promotion, but we're not talking about that promotion. No. So, but before we get started and talk about anything, I'm just going to do a quick plug for the sponsor of the show. It's me. It's my sponsor. It's my photography company. I'm sponsoring myself. Yes. So if you want a wedding or an event, come check us out. There you go. See, nice, easy, simple plug.
Yeah,
why not plug myself?
Cheap pop.
Exactly. A nice little cheap pop.
Yeah.
Thanks for the wrestling theme. And obviously, as we've already talked about with the people, we talk about everything that is not the comic book wrestling company, as some people used to call it back in the day. So,
yes.
And I imagine most of the people watching this show probably know those terms because obviously the people who tend to watch the other wrestling companies tend to be more seasoned wrestling fans. I think is probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah, at least I would say a lot more in the know. Although I don't really like those terms, to be honest. I think
Smart fans, to be called them.
Yeah, smart Max.
Yeah.
It's a case of we tend to be more of a we enjoy it, not the I've got to suspend everything I believe in and think this is real.
Yeah.
But yes, that's me finishing my little rant for now. I'm sure there's going to be another one.
Yeah.
There probably will be more. I'm sure you may have a few as well, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Okay. First thing I'm going to touch upon, because obviously something we talked about in the last episode, is the Moxley and Kenta match.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to see this, and ouch.
Yeah, quite fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like my neck. It ain't even me, but my neck.
Yeah. I think Moxley had to win that match though, because I think there's more to come between them two. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense for Kenta to win.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
although
thing.
I would point out in the last show you did pick Kenta to win, so just to remind you.
Yeah.
But it is those things happen in wrestling. It's not always obvious.
I did think he would win, but it was one of them where I was thinking, the smart booking is to keep Moxley as champion for now.
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone.
I'm thinking that further along the line, they're going to keep Moxley as champion until a certain point where they cross paths on a New Japan show. I think, with Dominion coming up in May, I've got a funny feeling that's where it could happen.
I wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, it depends on how their way of freaking out what's currently going on in the world goes. I mean, obviously, us in the UK, as we've been given a roadmap, so we know when things are going to go relatively back to normal, as long as it stays that way, of course. I don't know what they are for America or for Japan, because Japan has been very locked down since this whole thing started.
That's it, yeah. I mean, with Japan, they're a little bit more, mature when it comes to things like that,
Well, Japan have always been a country where a lot of the population, especially the ones in the cities, have always worn face masks. Yeah. It's not a new thing for them.
Yeah, the pollution thing. It's not just in Japan, though. I think they do it in China as well.
I've not seen enough Chinese cities to know, so that's why I would mention China. But particularly in Japan, I've seen various cities, and it's like that. So,
yeah.
Unlike everyone here who wasn't used to wearing one.
So. No. Yeah.
I do like it because I used to go in the local shop and they sort of asked me to remove my cycle helmet and my face and the face covering I used to do for cycling because you do when you cycle.
Yeah, now you have to wear them now.
Yeah. Now they encourage me to keep them on. I'm like, this is what I do in the first place. Why?
Yeah.
Because with the cycle helmet, as you can see what I look like wearing it anyway. I didn't need to take it off. It made no sense.
Yeah.
Like certain wrestling masks where wrestlers wear them. You can wear them all you like, but we still know who you are.
Well,
Halloween Phantom.
yeah. There's certain wrestlers that actually wear them out and about, outside of wrestling, because they want to maintain the mysteriousness of it all.
Oh, well, look, we have a comment here from someone who's watching.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, we wonder who that could possibly be. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that maniacal laughing you can hear is the responsible party for that comment. So, yeah, it's all good fun. But what I thought, obviously, now we've touched upon the Kenta Omega thing. I think you're exactly right, though, Kenta and Omega. I don't think that's over.
No.
There will be definitely more of that. But obviously, Kenta's obviously in the Japan Cup, from what I saw when I looked over it. So that could distract you for a while, depending on what happens there, of course.
Yeah, that started on Thursday night. There was the 49th anniversary show, and they started off the New Japan Cup on that show. And now, obviously, over the next couple of weeks, they're actually going to continue with the tournament.
Yeah, I have a list here as to the dates they're taking place. Obviously, you've mentioned they've gone over the past few weeks. It's also on what are we today? The 6th, so the 7th, 9th, 10th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 18th, and 20th of March, and the 21st is the final.
Yeah. I mean, it started the other day. One of the results from the first round were actually quite. I don't know if you remember me mentioning Tetsuya Naito last week on the last show that we did.
You did
about his knee injury. He actually did wrestle in the first round against the Great Okan. And the Great
Okan won, yes.
He won that one, and I'm thinking that's something to do with his Naito's knee injury.
I would think so. But
it actually figured into the story of the match where Great Okan actually worked on his knee and he eventually tapped him out.
Apparently, you're very upset by it, though, because we have this comment.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right. But yeah, I imagine it's related as to why he lost, because clearly if he's carrying a substantial injury, then you kind of need to get a way to do it easily. That's probably the quickest way to do it.
Also, it helps put Great Okan over, pushes his character more,
Well, it doesn't hurt, especially if somebody's just surfaced or it's been a while.
I mean, and for someone to say, I beat Naito in the first, that's a definite boost for him.
Wow. Okay, I think you need to have words here because the next comment is this.
No move from this, okay?
He's almost like a smart mark at this point.
Yeah, definitely. He's actually watching the show live on his tablet.
Clearly, because that's clearly how he's able to do that. So, I was going to say, well, it's like we're doing a wrestling match and Meltzer's right there just giving critique as we do it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, according to what I have here, his next opponent is Jeff Cobb.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
So we discussed Jeff Cobb on the last show.
Yeah.
So that should be an interesting match because Jeff Cobb is a big, beefy man.
He is a big guy. He's quite a powerful guy. And he can move quick for a guy as well. I mean, he's about, 350 pounds? And he can still throw drop kicks. A bit very similar to like Bam Bam Bigelow, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, for anyone who's not familiar with Jeff Cobb in New Japan, there's Ring of Honor, and there's also a Dynamite match you can check out with him in as well, where he actually got Moxley. So there is ways to check him out for anyone who's not got access to New Japan, but certainly what a wrestler worth looking on.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, we have another comment, by the way.
Yes, Finn, now you can stop now.
Right. Just so you can see what it is.
I might need to relocate in a minute.
Yeah. No worries. I'm just assuming Dave Meltzer got bored and decided to decide to post.
Yeah.
Or it's Alvarez. I think Alvarez is more likely because out the two of them, Alvarez is the one who strikes
Alvarez
me
is
as
more
being
the comedy, isn't he? You know.
Yeah, or Alvarez is also the one I don't like out the two of them.
Yeah.
Because he strikes me as being, how would I put this? He's too much into himself.
I think it's also because he was a wrestler, you know, so...
Well, that's quite possible too, but not all ex-wrestlers are like that, though.
Yeah, so, you know, there is some, you know, but, yeah, I think a lot of it, it's all about their ego, isn't it?
Yeah, it's... I think the problem when you do something like that is you're supposed to be covering the people performing, not putting
Not
yourself over. But
Yeah.
some people will naturally get over that by covering these things because they are naturally charismatic. It's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
The best example I can give you about a wrestling journalist who have probably got over very much recently, Sean Ross Sapp.
Oh, I've heard of him. I think he's in the Wrestle Talk now.
He does Fightful.
Yeah.
He does a lot of live wrestling streams, and he's very engaging, and he's also very funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he did MMA and a few other bits before in the past, but he doesn't overplay on it. He's very much a case of I'm just a journalist, which I think is probably the best way to approach it.
Yeah, a couple of months ago, he joined Wrestle Talk magazine.
Yeah, he's done articles from that. I do know. So, but it's an example of I think a way to do it right, as opposed to Alvarez, who probably goes a bit too much.
Yeah,
that's just my take on it. Well, people can agree and disagree with it. That's their prerogative.
Well, yeah.
So, but that's my opinion, and it's my show, so I can give my opinion.
Yeah,
and you can give your opinion too. So you don't even have to agree with me either. So that kind of helps in the show.
You know, I read the Wrestling Observer newsletter, you know, and I read the Figure 4 Weekly, and there's a very, very stark difference between the two of them. I mean, it's almost like you can't even take what Alvarez writes seriously.
Have you seen? There is a YouTube Figure 4 Weekly channel when they do shows.
Yeah.
Have you seen him on?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that should explain everything to anyone who needs to know about Dave Alvarez.
Yeah.
So, well, the funniest thing I heard though is I was listening to the Eric Bischoff podcast, 83 Weeks.
Oh yeah.
And he went off on one on Alex Marvez, thinking it was Dave Alvarez.
Ah.
And then the comrade right at the very end of what he's made, I think you mean Dave Alvarez, because he went off on a Martinez, but he didn't tell him until the following week. So apparently Bischoff got a lot of crap from the internet because he said the wrong one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, wrestling fans are very forgiving.
No. Yeah.
No, they're not. No. So
they do what could do. You know.
Yeah. I mean, in some instances they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But something like that, it's probably easily done though, not being funny. I mean,
even now, almost 25 years after the event, you know, Earl Hebner still gets shit from the for what he'd done at Montreal. So, you know, that's a prime example.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, a lot of these guys are probably 60s or 70s in age, right?
Yeah.
How are they going to remember everything? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. You know? I think Bret Hart got over it, so, you know.
Yeah. But the thing with Bret Hart, though, is if anyone has a right not to remember stuff, probably it's Bret Hart.
Yeah. You know?
Bearing in mind the concussion thing, so.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair shot if anyone has the right not to remember stuff.
Mm.
So, well, I would like to say, well, I remember Jimmy Crockett Jr.
Yeah, that's a sad loss of the wrestling business, that.
Yes, definitely. So,
I wasn't even aware he was ill, so it comes as quite a surprise to me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it as well is what people need to bear in mind. If you've never heard of Jimmy Crockett Jr., bear in mind that is the source where a lot of modern day, particularly American companies, have got their talent from in one form or another.
Yeah, he was the one that basically put a lot of money into NWA, WCW back in the late 80s, early 90s. You know, he was a very good promoter.
Well, probably I'd say from 88 to when Turner bought it, he pretty much was the NWA at that point because pretty much all the other companies had gone.
You know, you had great things back in the day then, like, you know, the original Four Horsemen, you know, things like Halloween Havoc, you could put down to, you know, Jim Crockett, you know.
Yeah.
All kind of Great American, you know, all these concepts. You know, he was one of the guys who tried to stick it to Vince back in the day.
And for the most part, did a fairly good job at it, really. When you bear in mind the differences in what they had to deal with.
Yeah, definitely.
But rest in peace, Jimmy Crockett Jr. I think you deserve it, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, I wanted to make sure we mentioned it because
absolutely.
I, for one, for example, I mean, I don't know if people are aware of this. My first wrestling exposure was WCW.
Yeah, back on ITV, late 80s, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So, for me, that's a big thing.
It would have been around the time where not a lot of people had Sky TV back then. When WWF actually first went over to Sky, you know, it's around the time when not a lot of people had the dishes.
Yeah, most of my early wrestling experience is WCW Pro and WCW Worldwide.
Yeah. You used to have to stay up till half 2 in the morning to watch it, day-ho.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and then not long after that, of course, eventually we got Nitro, which loved Nitro. Nitro was always fun.
Yeah. You know?
So, but obviously in that intervening period, but I also had WWF exposure at that time as well. But again, two very different experiences. But my foundational experience was WCW, and I think that is one of the reasons why I look at sometimes at some of the wrestling, and I'm like, nah.
No. It is. Some of it's just laughable. Some of it's embarrassing.
And not the good kind, because you can do embarrassing and it'd be okay.
Yeah.
But see, because if you want to one example of good embarrassing wrestling, right? I don't mind plugging other YouTube things. I don't care. There is a wrestling show called Wrestling Daily. On Thursday, they did a Q&A with MJF.
Ah, that would have been interesting.
He ripped the crap out of them.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. Was that a case of him staying in character, or do you think it was actually realistic? Yeah.
Oh, certainly in character, but whether he's like that in real life, I don't know. I've never met the man, but it's so funny.
Yeah, I'll have to catch that.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy MJF in promos because I just do. Because even if it's a character, he's so committed to it. I enjoy that stuff because it's somebody putting it forward. I mean, it's like almost Ted DiBiase type thing because very much in character.
The arrogance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye. Yeah. Talking of Ted DiBiase, you know, obviously, like I watch NXT.
Yeah.
You've seen a guy on there called Cameron Grimes.
Oh, is this the guy?
He used to be Trevor Lee on Impact.
Yeah, he's got a gimmick change, isn't he? He's like really rich. He's
a rich guy, and it's basically, I'd say, a nod to that Ted DiBiase's character when he first joined WWF, and he was getting all the fans to do all sorts of different tasks, like, you know, bounce the ball 10 times. DiBiase had knocked the ball on a 9th time, so he wouldn't have to give the money. But Cameron Grimes forgets to knock the ball away, and then basically has to hand his money over. And it gets to a point where he starts getting frustrated, and it's like, oh, damn you, Ted DiBiase. You think you're so clever. He goes, oh, I'll show you. So, yeah. I mean, I suppose it is kind of a nod to like Ted DiBiase, you know.
Oh, I would think so. You may want to keep your eye on some of those people that do those challenges, because one of those DiBiase ones ended up becoming Rob Van Dam.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Which is always worth mentioning, because Rob Van Dam very much changed wrestling in particularly North America.
I mean, if you go back in the day and watch some of these shows, do you know, like when you see security coming down?
Oh, it's also the local jobbers and the announcers.
Yeah, local jobbers and all like the indie wrestlers from back in the day. But, you know, you may, if you go back and watch some of them, recognise some of them as the stars of recent years, who went on to become big stars. Obviously, they would have just been starting out back then.
What's his face? LA Lake, Eli Drake. He was one. You had what's his bloody face? Sean Spears. He was one. He was a very famous one, actually.
Yeah.
He got super kicked by Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah.
Walking down the hallway. Yeah. So there's been a lot of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Just have to spot them.
Yeah.
So
it is.
It's It's always a fun thing. But obviously, yes, we were talking about New Japan Cup before I sidetracked with Jimmy Crockett Jr. stuff. But it's like I figured we should cover, and he just naturally led himself into it. But I had a question for you. When I looked through all this stuff, right? Why does Hiroshi Tanahashi start later in the tournament than everyone else?
That's a good question. That I just think it's like the to put the bigger stars on later, because what it is, it makes people more wanting to see the guy. So it's the anticipation thing. But if you go to a wrestling show, you're looking forward to the semi-main event and the main event. So it's it makes them want to come back for more, kind of thing. If it makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
it's because literally, according to the layout I have here, he doesn't come into it until the next stage of the tournament. He's not in the first round. He's in the next round that comes after it.
But I think he got a bye actually.
Yeah, because he's not had to fight. He didn't have to face anyone.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that though, because it might have been something I'm not aware of. I'm not sure if his scheduled opponent might have carried an injury, so he couldn't compete. So therefore, that puts him through. I'll have to look into it and get back to you.
Well, the thing is, according to this, he will face either Jay White or Toa. I can't say.
Toa Henare.
There you go.
Toa Henare, yeah.
So
he'll be facing Jay White.
It's kind of what I figured.
Absolutely, yeah. No way is Toa Henare beating. I mean, Jay White is probably one of my picks for the tournament, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying that because he's my favourite wrestler, but I think genuinely, he will.
I was going to say, you did mention the other week he was your favourite wrestler, but we were going to touch on who you think might win. But there's a lot of big names in this, and some of them are already out as well, which is the other thing, because Josh Robinson's out.
Yep. Yeah.
He was beaten by our friend Kenta.
Yep.
But
so there's another one. Kenta's another one. Like you talk about the favourites. I'm going to talk about the likes of Jay White, Kenta, Kazuchika Okada. They're the big ones. I mean, but you could look at dark horses as well. Someone like Evil. But Evil's due to fight Jeff Cobb, I do believe.
Well, according to this, what I'm looking at, Okada lost.
Right. So I've not actually watched the show this morning, you see. So,
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. No, their shows are held, obviously, I would say about 3:00 UK time. So it's yeah.
According to this, he was fighting Shingo Takagi.
That's not a completely big surprise to me. Because Takagi himself is he's in a group Los Ingobernables, and he is himself another one of those guys that we touched upon last week. Going from the junior heavyweight to the heavyweights. He was a junior, and he's done as well. So
there's a few of them in here because Will Ospreay's in this list as well.
Ospreay's one, and I think
Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. is another one.
Mate, what's his face? Oh, there was a guy we talked about last week. Who was it? Yano.
Yeah, I know. Yano Toru, yeah. He's a comedy guy, yeah. I mean, he was one of the, I don't even know who I could liken him to. I mean, if you talk about recent times, I suppose you would say Santino Marella kind of guy. He's pure comedy.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I've never seen any of his matches. His big thing that he does in the matches is he pulls the corner pad off.
Well, according to this, he beat Farley by count out.
Yeah. That's another thing that he likes to do. He gets his opponents to lose by count out, and it's always things like he'll tie their shoelaces around the guardrails, things like that, or he'll do something to them quite far back towards the back, so they've got no time to get back to the ring. So it's things like that.
Yeah, it surprised me because when I went through the current results for this, you got pinfalls, but you've got a stoppage, you've got a count out, and you've got a submission, which is very unusual for tournaments.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, going back to obviously the fact that you didn't know that Okada was out. No, I'm sorry about that because I did not know what you know.
Yeah.
I don't like spoiling things for people. It's not fair.
It's a big surprise to me anyway. So, yeah. You know, I mean, I looked this morning to see if the show was available to me, and it is, but I didn't get a chance to watch it this morning, so it is something I'll be watching later. So, you know.
Another name that did spark interest for me, because it's somebody I remember from way back in the day, is Hiroshi Tenzan.
Hiroshi Tenzan, yeah. He's more a making up the numbers kind of guy nowadays. So,
It's somebody I remember.
Yeah, Hiroshi, yeah. He won a title a couple of times back in the 90s. You know? And another one that's still around that I'm not sure if you're aware of is Yuji Nagata. He's still about.
I think his name's on here. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yota is fighting Yota. I cannot say that surname.
Yeah.
So it's Yota TSUJ.
Suji, yeah. That's a Young Lion, so he's going to be winning that match because Young Lions never beat the Stars. They never beat the Stars. So,
okay. Yeah. We mentioned Takahashi before. Takahashi before, rather.
The other one you might remember as well is Satoshi Kojima. I don't know if you remember him.
Name rings a bell.
Yeah, so he's another one that's.
I was going to say, the Tenzan thing strikes the thing with me because he used to hang around with Muta and Chono, and I used to watch a lot of those guys.
Yeah. You're on YouTube. Yeah, you're on YouTube. There you go.
He's now YouTube famous.
Yes.
Now, we're going to get 5,000 likes.
Will you get 5,000 likes, do you think?
Then he get 0 likes and then 5,000 hate likes, hate comments.
Let's not be doing the hate thing. The hate thing's not fun. But you've got Goto here. Goto I'm familiar with.
Yes, that's it, yeah. Hiroki Goto, yeah. He was back in the day, yeah. A lot of them were. I mean, if you watched the New Japan back in the early, the mid to late 2000s, there's still some names that are around. One of them retired last year. I don't know.
Liger.
Liger retired.
Mm-hmm. I saw his retirement match.
Yeah, Takashi Lazuka.
That's it.
I don't know if you remember, he was the one that had the Iron Claw.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that was him, and he basically passed the claw over to Tai Chi now. But the thing with that now is it doesn't. Suzuki Gun, just in recent weeks, have been wrestling and more sort of like in a face style. If you get what I mean, it's almost like they don't do the brutal beatdowns anymore, or they haven't been doing them.
Well, look at it this way: if Suzuki wants me to not wrestle that way, I'm doing what he says.
Yeah. Well, Kota Ibushi defended his title against El Desperado on one of the shows this week, and after the match, there was that respect kind of thing there where they kind of shook hands, and Tai Chi was there. I was thinking, are they going to then beat the living daylights out of Kota Ibushi? But they didn't. They held up. So
maybe they're gaming him, and it's going to be a long-term thing.
Well, it could be, yeah. But I still think there's more to come from Jay White with Kota Ibushi.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, our IWGP champion faces the winner of this tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
That's it, yeah.
So here comes the part of where I'm going to ask you, who do you think's winning?
Oh, I'd like to say Jay White, but there is names in there that could obviously. Like I said, Evil's one of them. Jay White. Now, here's the thing, you see. I've been thinking for a long time that there could end up being a civil war in Bullet Club. I mean, I think that there were signs like at just before Christmas and at the beginning of this year, but I think they then kind of held off on it.
Yeah. Well, as everyone who knows me knows, it's my least favourite faction.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that you thought it might have gone on too long, didn't you?
Yeah, it's to me, it's a case of
But then saying
enough.
that, Chaos has been going longer, so
Yeah, but the difference between, as I touched on last episode, the difference between Chaos and Bullet Club is Bullet Club is a direct knockoff, essentially, of the NWO.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Where Chaos is not. Chaos is its own thing.
Yeah.
So I have less of an issue with that. The problem with the Bullet Club is they are purely nostalgic based, and they've never evolved from that.
No.
And that's my issue with it. Because nostalgia is great. I like nostalgia, but not for 3-4 years at this point.
What is it? Oh, 8 years now, Bullet Club.
Right. that's too long.
Yeah. I was just thinking in my head then, it's definitely for 8 years. Yeah. Started off with, you know, who you now know as Finn Balor, you know, Prince Devitt.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
but it's a funny thing. He creates Bullet Club. And then Japan, literally about 6 or 7 months later.
Yeah,
you know,
he gets nothing from it.
Gets nothing from it, yeah. So, you know.
I mean, the thing is with Bullet Club, I mean, 2-3 years like the NWO did, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Then make it, evolve it if you're going to keep it around, or get rid of it.
Yeah, it's like this Undisputed Era in NXT. That was like, 4 years? And now they've basically dissolved them now.
A year too long, in my opinion. Should have happened last year.
Yeah. It's a case of one of them ones where I didn't want it to end, but then it's a case of it has to end.
I think for the development of the individuals in the faction, like that, they needed to split.
Yeah.
Especially in that environment, because they're never going to be treated well as a faction if they end up going to one of the two other shows.
Is it going to be a thing like it was with DX, do you think, when Shawn Michaels and Triple H split up and they had all this big feud and then they got back together like 2 or 3 years down the line? Is that going to happen, do you think? Or
are you talking about the split or when they split?
When? Well, you know what when.
Do you know what I mean? Because there was the split they did with China, and then there's the split.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll not go up. We'll not bring that split up. I think. Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know,
I thought that was more like what Waltman was meant to have been involved with that.
Yeah, there's video evidence of that. Hey, such a snack.
Yeah.
Not for children though, right?
No. Yeah.
Or anybody who's potentially sensitive to torn buttholes.
Yeah.
See, this is the show I get to do all the smarky stuff, so I'm quite happy about that. So you're obviously you're going back in your favorite wrestler, Jay White, and I understand why. Jay White's quite talented, but you mentioned there's always somebody there's other people in there who might possibly upset. Give us a couple of names who you think possibly could.
Evil.
Evil's a good one, yeah.
And the other possibility is Sanada.
Oh, yes, Sanada. I saw Sanada on the list. Where was Sanada? Tanahashi Ishii.
Tanahashi Ishii, yeah.
Yeah, that's his opponent.
I'd say Dark Horse. Ishii, I call a Dark Horse, but, you know, the 3 that I've mentioned, like, you know, Jay White, Evil, and Sanada, one of them 3 would be my pick.
And obviously your sentimental favourite would be Jay White because which makes sense to me. So.
I like because I don't know if you have been familiar with Jay White's career. I mean, he started off as a young, and then when he go on these excursions, he was with Ring of Honor, and even when he was what you'd call vanilla. If you get what I don't know if you heard the term vanilla.
I do, yeah. It's what Kevin Nash used to call the cruiserweights, vanilla midgets.
Well, that's the thing. When he was with Ring of Honor, he didn't come across as the major superstar like that he is now. But there was just something about him that attached me to him. And every time he wrestled, I thought, this guy's got something. He's got something. And I stuck with him.
I was going to ask you about it because obviously he was very run of the mill for most people, but most people he grabbed their attention when he became Switchblade.
Yeah. I mean, he caught my attention before the Switchblade thing like I said in Ring of Honor. I mean, it was, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but it was just something that caught my eye about him, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to stick with this guy because I think he can go places.
I think what it is, I think sometimes, particularly if you're a long-term wrestling man, there's certain wrestlers, they just attract your attention. You're not even sure necessarily why, but they just grab your attention. Even in my case, many years ago, watching AJ Styles.
AJ, well, for me,
Yeah, look at him. Yeah,
Chris Jericho was the biggest one for me.
Oh, there you go. That was my first. That was my first WCW one, right?
Yeah, Jericho. Yeah, you know,
because I love the Jericho-holic thing. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So pretty much been a Jericho fan ever since.
Absolutely.
Really.
And I think if you were to ask me, name me one wrestler who's reinvented himself more than any other, and Jericho's going to be my answer.
I think he's the top answer in all honesty. I can't think of anyone who's even remotely close on that match. Because also has two different gimmicks when he wrestles in AEW and then in New Japan. It's two different things. He's the Painmaker in Japan, but in AEW, he's like Le Champion and all that stuff.
Yeah, because he likes a little bit of the bubbly.
He certainly does. And you can buy it too as long as it hasn't sold out, because that stuff sells out surprisingly quickly. And good for them, capitalising.
The fact that, a lot of people, when they get to his age in wrestling, become less relevant. But he's kept himself relevant, and it's not a very easy thing to do.
I think that goes along with the reinvention thing as well.
Outside.
So
he's got. I think he's kept himself relevant because he keeps reinventing himself, and he keeps himself there. The List, for an example, you got the Bubbly, the Painmaker. He's kept himself relevant. Wrestling in New Japan at the age he was at, it wasn't known for Americans to do that.
Yeah.
Well, technically he's Canadian, technically American. It depends how you want to go by it, I guess.
I'm not sure if he was actually born in New York.
He was born on Long Island, but
and brought up in Canada.
Yeah, so basically,
I'm sure his dad is Canadian.
Yeah, his dad's Ted Irving, the hockey guy. So he's very much his dad is very much Canadian. I mean, I will go with whatever Jericho says he is, because I don't really mind, because it's not it's not me.
Yeah, so there you go.
If Jericho says he's Canadian, he's Canadian.
Yeah.
If he says he's American, he's American. It's his choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
He might have a dual nationality. I don't know. Some people
has. I mean, if he's been living in the States for so long, you gain citizenship anyway after 5 years, I do believe. So
that wouldn't surprise me. I think he's probably been in America slightly longer than 5 years.
There you go. Yeah.
So I think he's in Tampa now, from memory. So
it's got to be close by, because AEW is based in Jacksonville. So
that's still a fair drive in America. You've got people have to remember, in American states, for those who don't live in America,
some states of America are bigger than the UK.
Are big. Yeah, they are big. Yeah. You could do that drive from Jacksonville to Tampa, and it would take probably 4 hours, which is how long it takes for me to drive to you.
Yeah. I'd say so, yeah.
So, for an example, not that I can drive, but that's the best stuff I can give. So, but in States of Residence, I mean, you mentioned it, there are several American states that are bigger than this country.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of some of the talent, obviously, for AEW are local to Florida, but not all of them are, because some of them have to fly from like the West Coast or from New York. I mean, look at JF's one; he's New York.
Yeah.
Santana Ortiz is New York. Taz is New York. In the West Coast, you've got the referee Aubrey. Then you've got the Bucks, Brandon Carter.
I mean, I think New York was a big hotbed for the wrestling business back in the day, so I think it's just stayed that way.
I think certain ones are, because Texas is, California is, New York is, and Florida is. Those are ones that have always always been that way, particularly Florida. Florida's been that way for years, since we had Dusty Rhodes down there. And
I mean, back then it was a lot of, the territories, until a certain person decided to, pilfer all the talent from them and basically destroyed the territories. Yeah.
I don't know who that was.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's catching.
I
think that's what a lot of that is. Yeah, it's just case of that.
Yeah.
End.
we will have to see who ends up facing the champion and see how it goes. I think any of those choices would actually be quite good, though, against in particular the current champion.
Yeah. See, is Jericho going to get another run as AEW champion, do you think?
Ooh, there's a loaded question because we're going to get onto the predictions for Revolution in a minute, and I think some of the things from that may affect that. So we'll definitely go on to that. So, in fact, we can probably do that part now, actually, which could be fun for everyone. So, I have a list of all the matches.
Right.
And there's going to be one particular one that's going to be very fun for me to get through all the names because it's going to take me a while, right?
Okay, yep, sure.
Okay. We're going to do the pre-show match. I don't know. Do you know all the matches for the show?
Do you know, I don't. I might do. You'll have to,
It's all right. We're going to go through them all anyway. So just see that.
Right.
There's a pre-show match.
Yep.
Buy-in. Well, they call it buy-in. So there's a buy-in match. So I'm going to call it that. Right. Which is a tag team match between Britt Baker and Rebel against Riho and Thunder Rosa.
Right.
Right. Which is a tag team match between Britt Baker and Rebel.
I'm gonna say.
Okay. Hang on. I can actually hear me echo.
Yeah, someone's got the video on next to me on his tablet. So.
Just down slightly. Right.
Friend of the show,
Right. So that one I'm gonna say. I think.
I need to finish what I'm saying about it, so it may affect what you say. There's a chance Rebel may not be cleared, so she may end up being replaced.
Oh, I think I read something about that the other day.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure if I've read correctly. Is it COVID related?
She got injured by Nyla when Britt faced Nyla in the Women's Eliminator tournament thing.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, of course, yeah. I remember that, yeah.
So I think that's what that comes down to. So it's just a case of you can do two different predictions if you like, because obviously there's one with Rebel and there's one without Rebel, so that may make it fairer for you.
I still think Thunder Rosa and Riho will win.
I would like to think so, because they're my pick.
Yeah.
for a reason I'll get to in a minute.
They are pushing Thunder Rosa quite big, actually.
Yeah.
So
I would go for Rio and Thunder Rosa because A, I like both of them. B, I don't like Britt Baker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you touched on that the other week, didn't you? So
it comes. But the thing with Britt Baker is she's great on the mic.
Yeah.
She needs to improve on the botching.
Yeah.
She's still too punchy for me.
Yeah.
But I think she will get better.
That one I'm going to say. Sorry, just 1 minute. You turn it down, please.
I was going to say, cause there's another wrestler who wrestled on Dynamite this past Wednesday.
Yeah.
Who is very much in the same boat, but in her defense, that's the first match she's ever had.
Yeah.
So, which is different to Britt Baker, because the wrestler in question is Jade Cargill, who literally had her first match.
Don't like her at all.
Right, but that's her first match. She's never wrestled before. For that, I don't particularly like her either, but to be honest, from that is not the worst debut I've ever seen.
It's not, no. I don't like the character at all.
It needs work. This is one of the reasons why her and Britt particularly need to go off somewhere and do some learning and training, in my opinion. Bear in mind, my opinion, everyone's allowed to disagree with me, and I imagine most of the internet do, because most of the internet do Britt Baker.
Yeah. I'm just about this,
I think mainly because she's going out with a certain wrestler.
Yeah.
Baby. As I was mentioning before, baby. So that is the pre-show, right? So we're going to get to the one that's going to take me a long time to get through, which is the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Right. Get ready for me to have to go through all these, right?
Right.
We have Bear Country, the Dark Order, Silver Reynolds, the Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, the Inner Circle, which is Santana and Ortiz, Butcher and the Blade, Private Party, Top Flight, Death Triangle, which is Pac and Phoenix, Fast Blondes, Seidel Brothers, Salco Uncensored, which is Kazarian and Daniels, The Natural Nightmares, Project Chaos, the Gun Club, which is Austin and Colt Gunn, Dark Order, Angels and Vance, Pretty Picture, which is Avalon and Cesar Baroni. Some people may be familiar with Baroni from NXT because he used to be in it.
Yeah.
And you got Jurassic Express, which is Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. There is also a to be announced team as well.
Yeah. That's a big list. So the prediction from that.
Bear in mind it's a battle royal.
Yeah. And it's a very tough one to call this as well.
Mm-hmm. I think it's probably the hardest match to call on this entire list.
Yeah, I think possibly the Inner Circle team.
Santana Ortiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that if it happened.
Yeah.
The only thing that would happen, though, have you seen Dynamite, by the way?
I have seen Dynamite, yeah.
Did you see the Death Triangle match of Phoenix and Pac?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No thanks to fighting those two. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, they'd be my other pick, them two, Phoenix and Pat. I mean,
you've pretty much, those are pretty much the two teams I think have the chance of winning. But the issue is there's also to be announced.
I just think it's with the Inner Circle thing. I think it's obviously with what happened to the Bucks' dad. I think that obviously for me, I'm thinking that the Inner Circle will win the tag team match because it then ties into what they did to the Bucks' dad last week.
Okay, we'll actually go directly onto that one because that way it can leave up to obviously what you just mentioned. Obviously, so you went for Santana Ortiz, right? So with the tag team title match, obviously it's the Young Bucks versus Jericho and MJF.
Yeah.
Now, you've pretty much already dealt your hand with this one. I think I have as well. I personally think it's MJF and Jericho.
Yeah. Mm.
And the thing with that is obviously if they win that, the winner of the Battle Royal gets a tag team title shot. So what if it's Santana Ortiz?
That could also tie into my theory with what I think could possibly go down if they go that route is the Inner Circle turning on Chris Jericho and then JF becoming the leader.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's some theory that I've been having for quite a while now. Ever since MJF wanted to get into the Inner Circle.
Well, the fact you got rid of Sammy, it was kind of the big indicator, I think, which kind of tells us that's probably where it's going.
What?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Because, I think you're probably right. That's probably where that's eventually going.
Yeah.
Because I think eventually you might end up with Jericho back with Sammy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's also good out for Jericho if he needs to go on touring if they open up again so they can go for Foley.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I was world champion.
Just bear with me 1 second here. I'm sorry about this.
That's all right.
Just 1 second.
Yeah, it's the wonders of lockdown and family life, people. Don't worry about it. It's a thing. So, So, as obviously Ant was just talking about there, with the tag title match, you have that. I personally think it'll be Jericho and Wardlow winning, but there's always a possibility I think Sammy may get involved in that match, possibly cost them. Also, even fuck Daddy Buck after what happened on Dynamite, so it's always a chance as well. But I think we'll have to see what happens. But primarily, I think storyline-wise, it makes the most sense. I think, as me and Ant both said, that it's MJF and Jericho.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Trust me, everybody understands with the way things are at the moment that stuff's going to happen.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, they're back to school on Monday, so a bit normality's returning. So
again, as you're aware, my sister has a big family, so yeah. These things happen.
Yeah.
As I did mention with the tag match, there's always a possibility you could get Sammy's involvement in that, maybe, or even Papa because of what happened as well.
I mean, when you go back a few weeks when you've seen that MGF and Sammy Guevara have been at each other's throats, you know, if Sammy was to get involved, you'd all expect him to attack MGF. But why do I get the feeling if he did get involved, he'd attack Jericho? And that's what it figures then into the turn on Jericho.
Well, I think there's always a possibility. One, he's in it with MJF, or two, he's put it down by Jericho.
Yeah.
There's possibilities there, so any of them work.
Yeah.
But I do ultimately think, storyline-wise, it may end up being more interesting if it's them against Sentinel with Tease down the line.
Yeah.
But we will have to see what happens. Also, there's always Wardlow, who's everywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm guessing also to the little boys' room and possibly the bath. But we won't go any further on that.
No.
Right, let's see. Who do we have next? Oh, let's do the Face of Revolution ladder match because it should be fun.
Yeah.
Right, we have Cody Rhodes, which we can call him Cody Rhodes now because he owns the name again. Right, with Arn Anderson. This states here. Whether Arn will be out there, I don't know because of the type of match it is, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Scorpio Sky, who seems to be going on doing an attitude change, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I've been reading that. He's on the verge of turning heel there, and I've had another theory again. I've had a feeling that Arn Anderson might turn on Cody.
Well, did you see the Horseman thing on Dynamite?
Did I? I think so.
Spears and FTR.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Well, in the tunnel, Arn Anderson's there looking on.
Yeah.
And he did do this.
Yeah. But I've had this funny feeling that Arn's going to turn on Cody for a long time.
It's a Rhodes and an Anderson. Everyone expects it because look what Dusty and the entire Anderson family.
They've been known for turning for many years. Yeah. So.
So there's always a possibility, but Scorpio Sky's attitude change seemed to surface a bit on Dynamite when he's doing guest commentary, but it probably should have happened before now because I think Scorpio Sky needed something. Yeah,
I mean, I've not seen him with SCU in recent times, so
I think that's very intentional. Also, he's doing his own podcast thing as well for with some guy from I don't know what the company's called, but he's doing his own thing as well. But I think that they are splitting them off, but we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then we have Penta El Zero.
Yeah, Pentagon,
Yeah, like Penta. Penta's a favourite of mine. So, Penta El Zero Medero or whatever. Right. Then we have old Murder Hawk Lance Archer with Jake Snake Roberts. Then we have Max Caster of the Acclaimed.
Yeah,
I like the Acclaimed, but we'll get onto that later. And then we have To Be Announced.
Yeah.
So I will say with the To Be Announced thing, I have been told apparently it's just not related to the major AEW thing that will announced, just for clarification in case it affects what you're going to decide.
Yeah. So getting back to Scorpio Sky, I think this could tie into the character. So I could, I'm going to say Scorpio Sky on that one.
I think that's a pretty good shout, actually.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's quite a few people in this match I kind of like.
Yeah.
I like Penta.
Yeah.
I like Sky. I even like Caster because it's him and his mate doing those rap entries.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh. It's just there's just think about it.
Yeah. It is. I mean, because what better way to diss your opponent than coming out with the raps?
Yeah. Also, bear in mind, he was once Bobby Lashley's sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's definitely better off now. So, so is Scorpio Sky your guy then?
I think so in this one. Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad shout. Definitely a good shout. I'm really struggling to it. I actually possibly think it's going to be the person to be announced because there was a ladder match back at one of the events, and it ended up being Brian Cage.
Yeah.
And Cage won it. So I'm wondering if it'd go again, but possibly because they've done it before, they may not do it now.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, with the amount of people in this match, you just know there's going to be some fun stuff. I mean, particularly with Archer and Penta in there. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, Cage has been in a couple of them ladder matches. So.
Yeah. The one thing that really annoyed me though is I wanted Ray Phoenix in there as well.
Yeah.
Of course, he faced Archer for that spot, but I wanted them both in there because that would have been mental.
Yeah. But oh no, it's definitely going to be interesting ladder match. That it's one of them ones where you just can't for sure pick a winner.
It's a hard one, but
Yeah.
we're giving our picks, and the thing is, we're okay. We don't mind if we're wrong. We're just giving our opinions.
Yeah, it doesn't cost, so you don't lose money for it. So
Exactly. Right, now on to the tag team match. We have the best man Miro.
Yeah.
And Kit Sabian versus Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor.
Now I'm thinking with this one, I think Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor win.
Oh, God's sake.
I think, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I think Miro could do with a win, a high profile win, and it's a pay-per-view, so that's quite a high profile
I just don't understand why he's aligned himself with a guy like Kip Sabian as well, because I thought that he would have pushed someone like him straight towards the top.
Well, the only thing I can think of is possibly him and Kip apparently got a lot in common and they got on really well. So I'm guessing it's possibly a friend thing. I don't know.
Could be. I don't know if they were friends outside of wrestling, but in all honesty, Kip Sabian just reminds me of a little bitch. So,
well, yeah, but to be fair, his other half is Penelope Ford.
Yeah. So,
if nothing else, I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Because that's impressive work.
Yeah. Definitely.
He must be a good seller. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
But still the best selling seller of all time is DDP to Kimberly. My God.
Yeah. Yeah.
But best friends for you, yeah?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is, that's for some reason, even though Trent's not there because Trent's injured. So.
Yeah, again, yeah. It's obviously the revenge angle, I think, instead of going to,
Well, they've both kind of got revenge angles because Chuck and Orange Cassidy obviously disrupted the wedding thing they did.
Yeah.
And of course, Miro injured Trent, so.
I don't know why you want to do that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it could be. You might be all right, but we'll have to see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Women. Yeah.
Okay, the women's title match.
Women's title match, yeah.
Okay, Ryo Mizunami versus Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, I think it's coming up time now for Shida to lose her title, so I think now's the time.
So you're going for Mizunami?
Yeah. Depending if she's going to sign a contract or not. I mean,
apparently she's not signed. She's Marvelous.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. In this case, I'd imagine Shida keeping the title. But do you get what I mean by it's time for her to lose?
Yeah, I can understand that because she's gone along.
Yeah.
And elevation or evolution.
Yeah.
It's sort of just put along, and there's been no change of status quo. If you like.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. So
yeah.
I still think Shida's keeping it.
Yeah. So
because I think they probably will do an in-house change if they're going to do it. And apart from that, I despise it would probably be Britt Baker.
Yeah, Britt Baker, or maybe even a Serena Deeb, maybe.
I have no problem with Serena Deeb doing it. By all means, Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Even those two.
As long as it's not Nyla Rose, because I do not like Nyla Rose. I think she's very sloppy. I think,
She reminds me of. The only thing I liked about Nyla Rose was the fact that she wrestled Britt.
Yeah, but it's also her character again. There's someone in WWE, Nia Jax.
Yeah.
It would remind me of, I suppose, because from what I've been led to believe, she has injured so many opponents.
Oh, Nia apparently is very, very,
very
pro.
Yeah. So, and this Nyla Rose, that's what that reminds me of.
I would say there is one shining grace for Nyla Rose that she has over Nia Jax.
Yeah.
You know what it is, don't you?
Go on.
Vicky!
Oh, Christ. Oh. I have to mute when she speaks. I can't even listen to her voice.
The thing is, obviously on screen she's doing a character, but I've seen her being interviewed normally, and she's great, honestly.
Yeah.
The thing is, when she's on screen doing that, she's producing a response from you that she wants.
On screen, she's a lovely person. I'm sure of that. You know?
You're giving her the response you want by doing that action when she appears.
Yeah.
So she's doing her job.
Yeah. But it goes back to like Stephanie back in the day. Exactly that kind of thing.
Husband, Triple H.
Yeah, you got it. That I just couldn't listen to it. You know, I just couldn't listen to it at all.
Considering they did it 6,000 times in a matter of 6 months, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well,
It's definitely not fun. So you're Shida, yeah?
Yeah, I'm Shida. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What else do we have to do here for matches? Okay, yeah. The big money match. Hangman Page versus Matt Hardy.
I'm going to go with Hangman here.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And do you know the funniest part I think will happen here? I think Hangman, obviously, they're supposed to win the first quarter of the opponent's money, right? I think Hangman takes the Dark Order out and they all get drunk.
Yeah. I'm going to relocate.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Hangman on this one.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised either because I think he'll probably win. And I think he takes the money and he goes out on the bender.
Yeah. Now, this thing with the Dark Order with Hangman, do you actually think he's actually going to join them? Or
That's a tough one because there's many directions you can go with that. And I kind of like that idea because there's stuff you can do. But the thing with the Dark Order at the moment is the stuff you just can't do with them because of the Brody Lee, like with Brody Lee. You kind of, because obviously they were heels, but they can't be heels now.
No, they definitely can't. No. And there's a couple of guys on the Dark Order team that I actually do really like.
I like John Silver, yeah.
One of them.
Right. I don't know if you've seen it, but there was a John Silver interview with Chris Van Vliet. You need to watch it. It's great.
Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be worth checking out.
So, it's like an hour long, but it's definitely worth that hour of your time.
Yeah.
So, who else do you like on the Dark Order?
I quite like Alex Reynolds as well.
Oh, his partner, yeah.
Yeah. You know,
definitely. The old Beaver Boys.
I think they've definitely got the best two together.
Yeah, they used to be a tag team before AEW. They were like the Beaver Boys.
Yeah.
They've also had matches on SmackDown as well, back in WWE stuff. So they've been together a long time. The interview kind of touches upon this when they speak to Silver, but it explains a lot about how they met and so on. Yeah. So it's definitely worth looking into. But those are definitely two of the good ones. I like Grayson.
Yeah.
So I think Grayson's an interesting one, definitely.
Yeah. And I think.
And we'll get out of the way now. Yes, I like Anna Jay, and it's not because she's pretty. Yeah. She is pretty, but I actually do like. I like her as a wrestler. Yeah. But again, she's not one of these ones who just needs matches and experience, and
because she's not had an awful lot recently.
Yeah, well, she's injured now.
Yeah, take Ty Conti as well. She's another one. I mean, she needs a bit more exposure, as it were.
Yeah, she just needs. They just need more matches, more training. But with Anna Jay, she's going to miss a bunch because she's injured her shoulder. She's going to be at like about 9 months, which is
because I wondered why she wasn't in that tournament. You know, she was scheduled to fight Nyla Rose, wasn't she, in the first round of that tournament? So,
it was Britt Baker, I think, because she was replaced by that Anna Waski thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because then Britt fought Nyla, so yeah, I'm pretty sure she was mate. Because Ty Conti fought Nyla.
Right, I get you. Yeah.
So
I
may have this wrong way around, but I think I'm right.
Possible,
I'm happy to be corrected, but I think I'm right.
Yeah. So, I didn't even watch any of the women's tournament, to be honest with you. So
I actually watched all of it.
Really? Yeah.
Because I personally, I was interested to see what had happened.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. There were some good matches there. The one match I'd suggest you go back and watch, particularly you, is Thunder Rosa fought Rio. The match from the pre-show. That's worth watching. Even though you probably know who won, it's
Right.
still worth watching.
Yeah.
But as we talk about the Dark Order, I mean, and I do like NJ, as I said before. Not a problem there. I love Negative One. That kid is hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially when he picks on Excalibur and Dark's commentary. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
And if people have never seen it, go watch it. It's funny as hell.
Yeah.
And that kid needs all the fun stuff in his life right now. So, yeah, I have no issue with that at all. You go for it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're both Hangman, I'm pretty sure on that one.
Yeah.
But the problem, obviously, with talk about Hangman at the moment, Dark Order is always quite close, so it's easy to get sidetracked. So. But if you want to know more about Hangman and Dark Order stuff, BT is probably your best bet. Because there's a lot of skits with them on there. So, and I said, there's the Silver interview, definitely worth watching. I'd recommend it. So, Hangman page. Let's see, what else do we have to go? Oh, there's only 2 matches left to go, and the next one is the Street Fight, which is Team Taz, which is Ricky Starks and Brian Cage against Darby Allin and Sting.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
I can't do it the way Shivani does it, but it has to be
No.
done.
But I'd say Sting and Darby for that one.
I think for the sentimental reasons, yes, but I wouldn't be opposed to Team Taz winning.
No, definitely not. Yeah, definitely not.
I mean, I like Cage.
Yeah.
Starks has his ups and downs with me, in all honesty, but I think he will get there.
I figured he'd like Cage anyway. You know.
I saw Cage in Impact and a few other places as well.
Yeah, and I think he reminds me of one of your boys from back in the day, Hernandez.
Yes, there's certain resemblance to him, but Hernandez is still kicking around now in Impact, so.
Yeah.
But he's got that sort of style and thing, but I think he's probably more agile and probably got more ability than Hernandez. That's not a knock on Hernandez, it's just the Cage. Just the fact I think Cage is better.
Yeah. I think so. He's got more moves, hasn't he? So
that's what I mean. Also, much more agile because Cage can do some really interesting stuff for a guy who's built like that.
Yeah.
So
no.
But if Team Taz won, the problem is Darby's the TNT champion.
Yeah.
Which is picking your champion.
Yeah.
Because unlike WWE, I'm not sure AEW would do that.
Yeah.
Considering neither one of Team Taz would have the next title shot. It's the person who wins the ladder match.
Yeah. So again, that's another thing where they've got to think of the bigger picture. So it's got to be, Sting and Darby Allin.
Yeah, there is that. Although I don't see Sting having an objection to putting over younger talent though, because I think that's just not Sting.
Yeah.
So I can see it working, but I do think you're probably right. I think it's probably Darby and Sting, but I could see it halfway too, and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Right. On to the last match. Well, we call it a match. It's not really. It's a case of organised mayhem and chaos.
Yeah.
It's the Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match, which is for the AEW World Title, which is Kenny Omega, apparently with Don Callis. I am interested to see how that works against John Moxley.
Yeah.
Right. Considering it's a barbed wire death match and the entire ring and the outside of rings who's got explosives around them, how is Callis supposed to be out there?
Exactly. Yeah.
That would be my first question.
Well,
unless they're going to blow him up, which I have no issue with because I don't like Callis.
No. I mean, from what I've been reading, there's apparently only 3/4 of the outside is going to be covered with those explosives. So, he could be in.
Well, supposed to be fair, they do have to actually get in the ring.
Yeah. Could be. So, normally in a match like this, I would say Moxley. But for me, 100% Omega's winning by cheating somehow. 100%.
You can't really cheat, though. There's no rules in that match.
I know, but somehow, I think like Gallows and Anderson will get involved.
You do think shenanigans?
Yes. Gallows, Anderson. Even this to be the guy. The main event,
We were going to get onto that after this match, but yeah.
And another name popped into my head the other day. I didn't think I mentioned him to you, but Mick Foley.
No, you didn't. No.
No, there's another one it could be, and he is, this kind of match is, suited for him. He could come out. He could, just never know.
So you mentioned Foley. Well, I'm just going to flash back quickly to Dynamite. They did a package for this match, and then it was the main guy who used to do these matches in FMW.
Was it?
I can't remember the guy's name for life.
Was it Matsunaga or something? Was it?
It's so.
You've got anyone like that?
The name escapes me right now, and it's annoying.
Tarzan Goto. There's loads of them.
But this guy apparently was like the main guy who originated and did a lot of these matches. So I don't remember his name, to be perfectly honest. But he spoke about this kind of match. Yeah. So people like him, Foley you mentioned, of course, Terry Funk, bless his soul.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's be clear. This mystery person is not Terry Funk.
No. Yeah.
Because that man may have retired 700 times, but no.
No, definitely not.
Foley's not unreasonable, so for that. But we should probably cover the result of the match first, and then we'll discuss who that big person could be.
Yeah.
So the thing is, as you said, normally in a match like this, Moxley has lots of experience in doing these kind of matches. Well, not maybe like exploding barbed wire matches, but
the hardcore,
hardcore matches, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Omega's generally V trigger, V trigger, V trigger, V trigger, V trigger, V trigger, one winged angel, V trigger, V trigger, one winged angel. That's pretty much a Kenny Omega match to me. So, oh, with the occasional Snapdragon. Sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot the Snapdragon. Sue me. Right. But the man is incredibly limited in what he can do.
Yeah.
And to me, this is my opinion, because a lot of people think Kenny Omega is the best wrestler in the world. Here's my controversial opinion. No,
I wouldn't say so.
No way.
No. I mean, you had
never in a hardcore match. Absolutely not. In a straightforward wrestling match, I would pick up Carter over him all day long.
Yeah.
And there's several other people that are particularly in New Japan right now who are definitely better wrestlers.
Yeah. There was they do the 50 top wrestlers in the world thing in Wrestle Talk magazine.
Yeah,
and they put Will Ospreay at the top.
Don't PWI do it as well?
Yeah. People added to 500, didn't they? Yeah. But Will Ospreay, they reckon, was the best. They say that he's the top one.
Yeah. Well, here's the weird thing: the PWI one, I think, was Moxley.
Yeah.
Which I can kind of understand, because at the time he was the US champion in IWGP and the world champion in AEW. I kind of understand that. Do I think he's the best wrestler? No. But do I understand why they would have picked him? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and you're talking about the ones that are putting in great performances over the past year or so. I would have threw Hiromu Takahashi in that.
Oh, yeah.
He was the junior heavyweight champion up until recently, but he's been injured for 6 months, so he had to vacate the title. So they had a three-way on one of the shows this week, and El Desperado walked away with it. So,
I mean, I'd even throw your guy Jay White in there in that conversation, because
absolutely,
I think he's definitely in there. Obviously, he's the powers of the climb, but even AJ Styles, AJ Styles is a sentimental favourite of me, because I just like AJ Styles. But
I mean, obviously, for obvious reasons, I don't really get to see much of him nowadays. So.
Yeah. But I don't think anyone's going to complain about me saying AJ Styles is a great wrestler. I don't see that happening. Whether he's the best in the world, I think people can argue about that, and rightly so. Yeah. But he's a great wrestler.
Oh, absolutely,
But as far as this match goes, I suspect Omega's winning, and the reason why is I think Moxie's going to go away and be a dad.
Yeah.
Which is my reasoning for it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Because Renee's,
6 months, 7, yeah.
So I suspect he may go away, but they may surprise us. They're not WWE. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I prefer Moxley to win, in all honesty.
I would.
If I go with who I want to win, it'd be Moxley, but who I think will be Omega.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much the same as you, I'm guessing.
That's the one, yeah.
So,
I think for storyline purposes, I think it makes more sense for Omega to keep hold.
It makes more sense for Omega to go away. In all honesty. That's my personal opinion. So. I preferred Omega when he was in a tag team with Paige, but that's just me. But all right.
Yeah. Did you ever see his tag team with Kota Ibushi in New Japan?
Right, that's a great.
They were called the Golden Lovers.
Right,
So,
I liked that. I saw him against the Young Bucks. Great match.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing I think with Omega is, I also think it's the Callis thing because I don't like Callis and never have.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's helping Omega right now because I don't like Callis. It's just not even a case of Callis is a bad promo, which he is. He's terrible. But there's just something about Callis which makes me immediately want to reach for turn it off the screen.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Did you like Callis when he was like the leader of that faction in WWE?
Truth Mission, no.
Truth Commission, no. Yeah, I can't remember the character's name. What was his character called? It escaped me.
The Jackal.
The Jackal, yeah.
So I didn't like him then. I didn't like him as Cyrus the Virus. I didn't like him as when he led the Oddities for a while, if you remember that.
Yeah.
I don't like his commentary either. It's just a bit about the man. He activates back in the what used to happen in 1999 when I used to watch WCW and Jeff Jarrett matches. Skip.
Yeah.
Skip.
You know.
Affectionately referred to as the Jeff Jarrett button. Skip.
Yeah.
The thing is, that's not a critique on Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's had some good matches, but in WCW, no.
Yeah. You know.
But I'm not a fan of Callis.
No. Well,
so I think that may affect my opinion of Omega currently. I don't know.
No.
I mean, it could be. I'm willing to admit that. Because I think when people are put together with somebody you not necessarily like, I think it can sometimes affect your judgment.
Yeah. That's it.
It's one of those things. Anyway, we were going to get onto the big signing.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard a funny one, and I'll see what you think about this. We turn to the show. Out comes Paul Wight.
Yeah.
He turns around on his heel on the spot and goes, "It's me!" And this signs a contract.
Yeah.
It's a big show heel turn.
Yeah.
It's not happening. It'd be hilarious, but that's not happening.
Yeah.
The reason I don't think it'll happen is it's not WWE. It's as simple as that. Because I don't think they're going to promise something like that and then under-deliver. As much as I like Paul Wight and I do, I think that's under-delivering.
Yeah. I mean, so I can even begin to actually absolutely nail on who it could be. I mean, when you think about the people who are unaffiliated with WWE right now, the biggest name out there would be CM Punk, and I don't quite know if he would. He's jumped up and down all over Twitter the other day. He did a Q&A saying, "Not me, not me, not me, not me." Obviously, normally the rest of it means that's him. Yeah. But I don't think it is. No. I will give you my guess, and you as to my predictions to who it will be, and you can tell me what you think. I think it's Angle. Do you think? And there's a reason. There's two reasons why. One, have you seen the shape the man's in lately? Jesus, he's got himself really in shape. Yeah. And secondly, he has a relation. There's a relationship between AEW and who Kurt Angle's doing his podcast with right now, which is Conrad Thompson, who was on Dynamite this past Wednesday. Well, there you go. So that's my look. It's just as likely to be right as anyone else's. No. Yeah. So also, Kurt Angle is definitely Hall of Fame worthy. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think anyone would argue that. The man won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Yeah. You know? You have to say it when you talk about Kurt Angle, otherwise it's it's true. It's damn true. Yeah. Have to get them in. Right. Yeah. What do you think? One of them, I think Angle possibly is the most likely. Well, I would point this out. It's definitely not Mabel. Not Mabel, no. It's not the third man. No. And it's certainly not with us these days, so exactly. There's two reasons why it's not Mabel. One of which is being that Mabel's no longer with us. And the second being he's not Hall of Fame worthy. Could it be Ken Shamrock? But no, he's with Impact, isn't he? So
I heard one the other day, which I thought was kind of interesting, but I don't think it's him, and that's Kane. Glenn Jacobs.
No, I think he's going to be one of them WWE for life guys, basically. No,
So he's currently a mayor.
yeah. So
I think the most likely list of suspects would be, I've mentioned Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
CM Punk.
Yeah. Mick
Brock
Foley.
Lesnar,
Yeah.
Mick Foley. And the reason why I say those four is those four would be ones people will know.
Yeah.
And well know and be respectful of.
Mm.
Whether you like Lesnar or not, people will respect Lesnar. Plus, crossover appeal is huge.
Yeah.
So those, I think, are the four main most likely.
Yeah.
But for all I know, they could give us a nice big surprise out in the middle of nowhere.
Here's one for you.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he's still under a contract.
Don't say Hulk Hogan. Don't say
Mr. Calloway.
15-year contract.
I didn't know if he was under any kind of contract. So
it would be a good one. But apparently, when he went to that podcast with Conrad Thompson, you may remember this or not. I don't know. Yeah. He was going to do a fan event called Starcast, and magically he got a new contract.
Yeah, lovely. Right. Yeah, so
that contract was for 15 years.
Yeah.
So he's still got about another 13 years of that contract to go.
Yeah.
I think, to be fair to Mark, good on him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Take him for everything they can.
If you can get guaranteed money for the next 13 years for doing nothing, take it.
Absolutely.
So, but obviously, if you've been freed, then that's a great shout.
Yeah.
So, but there isn't a lot of options left really, because I mentioned them once upon a time. Hogan would have been a big shout, but not now.
I really hope it's not Hogan
for many reasons.
Really hope it's not Hogan. That's all I can say.
Well, you know something, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, bloody hell. Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
No, there's a slip disc, yeah.
Oh, my back. Oh, back. Oh.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Shawn Michaels for helping me do that impression. Right. So search your WWE Network archives. You'll find what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Brother. You'll probably remember that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Which led to one of the funniest wrestling matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How to Oversell by Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
But to make it clear to anyone who's never seen it, when we saw it oversell,
yes,
I'm probably underselling it.
Yeah.
Because, that'd be like me having a wrestling match against a newborn baby and then just falling over everywhere without that baby touching me.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with here, the equivalence of.
Yeah. You know.
So is there anyone else you can think may possibly fall into that conversation, do you reckon?
Not off the top of my head, no. So, yeah.
Triple H.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, you imagine.
Yeah.
Linda.
Shane.
Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah.
Because he loves you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else can we think of? Let's see. It will not be John Laurinaitis. No way in hell.
Nope.
Many reasons, one of which being he's not well known.
No.
Not Hall of Fame worthy. And Jim Ross hates his guts.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what I'm referring to, listen to Jim Ross on his podcast and he'll explain.
Another name didn't pop into my head, but, JBL.
That could be interesting. I mean, if you've seen some of the online things about JBL, him and Nyla Rose might enjoy each other.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not a poke about about Nyla Rose being transgender. That's a poke about JBL having a certain type of woman he likes.
Yeah. Big women. Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to be dominated, apparently.
Yeah.
So it's just keep him away from the good, all the good talent, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, I would say if he was up to it, Ron Simmons would be a good shout.
Yeah.
You mentioned JBL,
Yeah.
think of it, but again, Ron's at an age where I don't know if he can physically do anything other than go, damn.
Yeah.
But to me, Ron's earned that. Good for Ron.
Yeah. But other than that, I just can't really think now. So
when you are officially recognised first Black World Heavyweight Champion as Ron Simmons is, you can do pretty much what you like.
Yeah.
And rightly so. But let's see.
Yeah.
It really is a struggle to think of anyone else it could be.
No, I can't think of any more, to be honest with you.
The Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, because there was an interview, by the way, on the AEW Unrestricted podcast where Tony Khan pretty much makes it clear it's a male.
Yeah.
Which is why I did not mention any female options on that list. This is why I'm explaining it to the viewers as well, so they know.
Yeah.
Also, let's say it's not Andre the Giant because he's dead. Can you imagine Paul White introducing Andre the Giant?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, irony. I have a knife. So, WCW rehearses people, learn to love them.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So here's one for you, right, before we disappear. Just wanted a quick take on this because you're an old school fan like me, so this will be interesting. With the AW angle, obviously during the week where we had Tully, FTR, and Sean Spears, and then JJ Dillon was there as well.
Yes.
Are we seeing a Horseman? And if so, are we getting a fourth active wrestler rather than Tully or not?
Yeah. It's an interesting one, that, and that's why I mentioned about Arn maybe turning on Cody.
Yeah.
So get the gang back together, kind of thing.
I have an idea for you.
Now, here's one for you.
Yeah. What if it's Cody that turns?
Oh, there's an interesting one.
Because the whole Rhodes against the Horseman thing.
But here's another name for you as well. Brian Pillman Jr.
Dad, when's the show end?
Very soon.
It's an interesting... It's an interesting idea, but I think Pillman is still signed technically to... what's it bloody called? MLW?
Yeah.
So that may preclude that, but other than that, that's a pretty good shout, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, but Scorpio Sky.
Okay.
You mentioned the attitude change. It's a possibility.
Yeah. So it's a very big good possibility,
So just trying to think of, I think, likely candidates, but I do kind of like the Cody one because it goes against the tradition of the Horseman, who used to always beat up on the Rhodes family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dustin.
Yeah.
So also means you can have Arn turn as well. So Arn with Tully.
Yep.
And then Cody with Sean Spears. They've got history. And then you've got FTR, who I love FTR.
Yeah.
So,
see, I was reading articles in the Wrestle Talk magazine going back, and there was a couple of interviews with FTR, and they always seemed to mention factions like the Four Horsemen and the Rock and Roll Express, So
yeah, they are big fans of that sort of stuff. They grew up in the Carolinas, so I think that helps with that stuff.
Yeah. So again, it could tie into all that, So
definitely could. So
I wouldn't necessarily say call them the Four Horsemen. It could just be a big faction called the Horsemen. So,
well, here's the thing. I don't know if you're aware of this. WWE do not own that.
No, they definitely don't. No.
Do you know who owns it? Because I do.
I'm sure it was JJ Dillon. I could. No.
It's Conrad Thompson.
Really?
Who podcast with Arn Anderson.
Ah.
So, and he was at the WCW show on the AEW show on Wednesday. Just saying.
So that's interesting. Yeah.
So they can use the name if they want to.
Yeah. So.
Mind you, it'd be being fortunate.
Yeah.
Here's our TNA reference for the day.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get sued, we have to do this instead.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear, but
So
I think we've come up with a few interesting ideas anyway, but we'll see how that goes. I think we've pretty much covered everything as well. Plus, I don't want to keep you too long because obviously I know you're busy.
Yeah.
Family. You apparently can't live without your attention.
No. You always want the attention more when you're actually doing something like this.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it? Because the minute when you're doing nothing, nobody cares. But the minute you're doing something, everyone wants you.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Before we disappear, do you want to do the social media thing, or are we just going to say no? Don't. Nobody has my social media.
Well, they do, but that's a story for another day. You know.
So basically, people, no to social media. In Ant's case, in my case, you guys just do the YouTube channel thing. You can find me here, and the photography company would be the other way you'd find me if you really want to find me that way. But that's generally a work thing, so not really sure that would help you very much.
Yeah.
But if you want to leave feedback, comment section. Once this posts, best way to do it. Or the live chat as we go along, as was evident earlier by our little run by commenter. So, yes, okay. It's all good fun, and you know, we get to enjoy it. So anyway, so with that, I think we will leave off and let everyone go about their business, and we'll see what happens with everything. But I've already got the pay-per-view for Revolution. Well, I got my credits from Fight TV and everything, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
so,
I'll be ready to go.
Yeah, and we'll be watching it. Don't ask him how, but he'll be ready to watch it.
Yeah. Not that I can go on piracy in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, basically, however people watch stuff is up to them.
Yeah.
I personally have a thing where I like to support, particularly companies who I want to keep doing stuff. Simply because I run a company where I like to be paid for what I do. It's as simple as that. But that's my opinion. Everyone else can have theirs. It's fine. Which is why nobody should pay WWE anything. But anyway.
There you go. Yeah.
We'll be seeing you.
Yeah.
Okay, we will see all the people later. So we'll let them all go. So thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
And enjoy your wrestling and all the fun stuff. So we'll see you later. Bye-bye, people.